This is KGW News at Sunrise.
The tree went through the roof of the house and into the living room, and a large branch actually is what went through and hit him in the head.
The ice storm is here. A lot of close calls as brutally cold and windy weather hits just days before Christmas.
So trees have come crashing down on several homes, some of them bringing down power lines.
I was thinking, oh my God, because I have a big fir tree like that in my yard.
And like we've been telling you, if you don't have to drive, don't risk it. The road's just too dangerous on one of the busiest travel days of the year.
And good luck if you're flying. More than 100 flights are already canceled at PDX as the Northwest braces for more freezing rain today.
Yeah, it was a busy night for sure, and we expect that to continue throughout the morning. Sunrise will be on until 8 a.m., preempting the Today Show. We'll go longer if we need to. And we have teams all over the area to bring you the latest up-to-date information.
Let's step outside and show you Bryant Clerkley is in Southeast this morning. Devin Haskins is riding along with Eric Patterson in Drive 8. And Evan Watson is live at the airport. Tons going on, as Tim mentioned. But first, the man of the hour, Chris McGinnis, is walking us through the very latest forecast.
Man, I don't know.
Pressure's on, Chris.
The pressure's on. I know a lot of people probably not liking us this morning, right, with what we're waking up to. Not that we have anything to do with it. We're just the bearers of the information, I guess.
Ya.
All right. Well, hey, that's a live look from our Rose City Sky Camera, by the way. That's over on the east side of town. You can see downtown in the foreground, and you can see the number of ramps around I-5. Let's see how some of these cars are navigating, because that's the route I took to come in, right down I-5 this morning, very early this morning, around 2:45 or so. I can tell you that, if you're equipped, if you've got snow tires on your car, you're probably going to get around, albeit very, very slowly today. And the point here is that the roads are so cold that even with ODOT treating some of them, most of them, at least the interstates and the highways, for instance, that stuff is not going to melt with temperatures down in the teens in many locations to near 20, right? So what's on the roads right now is not going anywhere for a good while today. That's the live look again from our Rose City Sky Camera. It's 21 degrees at PDX, and at the airport, the breeze is still out of the east, right? The door is open to the ice box, the Columbia River Gorge, and that continues to funnel in cold air. Right now, 21 at PDX, dew point 16. That temperature is not going to budge much at all this morning, and probably not until late in the day today do we even get anywhere near freezing in Portland proper. Down to the south, King City is checking in with 18, Sherwood's at 21, Salem is at 24, Corvallis and Eugene are also well below freezing. The freezing rain was actually more significant south of Portland late last night than it was here in the Portland-Vancouver metro area, where we had mostly sleet overnight. That's that white stuff that, you kind of look at, is that snow? No, it's sleet. But now we have transitioned to just freezing rain, which means liquid is falling and it's hitting these sub-freezing surfaces, and it is freezing on contact. So your sidewalks, your side streets, everything is going to be becoming increasingly iced up as we go through the morning. That said, the precipitation is going to be on and off. It's not going to be like a relentless freezing rain all day. We're going to get some breaks. We had a little break over downtown a little while ago. Radar's starting to show that that's filling in a little bit more now. The pink on this map, by the way, indicates the freezing rain. The purple indicates that there may be some sleet or ice pellets mixed in, but predominantly as the atmosphere warms aloft, we're going to transition to more just freezing rain area-wide. And Futurecast bears that out. I'll let the clock roll on our computer model at 6 a.m. You can see that pink shading up and down a lot of the I-5 corridor. It's generally light, but as we know, freezing rain does not take much to create issues out there on top of the sleet that's already covering most of our area roadways and sidewalks, etc. All right, through 10 a.m., the other thing I wanted to point out is that you can see here these yellow lines on the map here. That's the pressure gradient. We've got high pressure off to the east, low pressure to the west. We are still driving that east wind, the source of the cold air, right through the gorge. And that means the temperatures here in Portland are just not going to warm up, guys. I don't see us getting above the freezing mark here until very late tonight, if that. I wanted to give you a quick look at your 7-day forecast. Occasional freezing rain today. Tomorrow could even still be dealing with freezing rain in the early morning hours. But I will point out that, guys, once we get to the freezing mark tomorrow, the remainder of our 7-day is just wet with temperatures well above freezing.
We'll take that, but we got to get there first, don't we? All right, Chris, thanks a lot. All right, next up, Devin Haskins is out in Drive 8 for us this morning, running around the area safely for us to check conditions. So, Devin, you're going to go all over. Where are you now, and what do you got going on?
Well, hey guys, we just went through the Vista Ridge Tunnel, and right now you're looking at a couple of ODOT snowplows getting off at the Market Street exit. We're going to see kind of where they're heading from here, but we've seen them up and down Highway 26 plowing. They have the big salt letters on the back of their truck. It's hard to tell, between the road spray and whatnot if they're actually laying salt down. But talking with ODOT yesterday, they said Highway 26 and the freeways are the places that if they're going to lay salt down, that's the place it's going to be. Driving around, so right now, heading into downtown Portland, it is snow-covered roads. I mean, just kind of what we've been showing you all morning and what's expected. It's hard to tell driving by how much snow is on the roads. I would say maybe, I don't want to overguess, maybe a half of an inch, maybe a little bit more, but some of it mostly compacted. What we're noticing though, as far as kind of our biggest problems, is the rain that gets stuck, the ice that gets stuck to the windshield and just freezes. So we're having to pull over every 10, 15 minutes, scraping the windshields. Hang on, he's turning. Scraping the windshields and getting rid of that ice. And now these plows are turning back onto 26 as we take a left onto Southwest Clay here in downtown Portland. Driving through, where we noticed kind of the bigger impacts of snow on the freeway, some more drifts down on the Capitol Highway, Southwest Barbara Boulevard area. And then as we made our way down to Wilsonville, or in the Tualatin area, again, kind of more snow-covered roads. As we've been reporting, and as we've talked about too, I-84 in the gorge from Troutdale to Hood River is closed down, and that is closed down for the icy conditions. And as we're about ready to get back onto 26 right now. But again, we are in a Subaru Forester. I said Outback earlier. Subaru Forester here with studded tires, driving around right now. We're about ready to get onto 26 westbound as we continue to drive around and kind of show you the conditions of what it's like. But so far, traffic at a very minimum right now, especially at the 5 o'clock hour, which is great news. And I understand it's the holiday weekend, getting into that Friday before Christmas, but still not a lot of traffic right now on these roads. So, a big change to what we're normally used to seeing on a quote unquote normal day at this hour. But for now, we'll send it back to you guys.
Yeah, it is anything but normal. Devin Haskins will be checking back. Thanks, sir. Yep. I'm telling you, those PBOT trucks, when I see them out there laying salt or whatever they're doing, to me, it's the cavalry. We have Dylan Rivera with PBOT on Zoom talking to us this morning. Before we get to the conditions that your crews are dealing with this morning, can you talk a little bit, Dylan, about driver etiquette? Because if you were watching Devin's live shot, there was that red car, and it looked like at some point he wanted to pass the salt truck. Can you tell drivers if they're out there and they see one of your crews, what the heck they should do?
Never pass a snowplow. Thank you for this message. It's always a bad idea. The road is going to be better and safer, clearer behind them than in front of them, and they really they're managing a really large vehicle, heavy equipment, and it's hard for them to stop. So they really have a difficult job, and we all need to give them plenty of room, never pass them, and those are some of the most important things to do.
Yeah, I was noticing that as well, and so thank you for talking about that. So Devin, your crews are out there. Dylan, I'm sorry. We just talked to Devin.
Lots of D names.
A lot of D names, Dylan Rivera. What are they finding out there, the problem spots in the city?
It's icy everywhere. Bridges and overpass are especially icy. The ones we have been able to treat in the recent days do have more traction, but we still have this thin layer of ice. It's not enough for snowplows to plow, for example, but so it really is that really troublesome thin layer of icy frozen material that is just everywhere, and we really are thankful for everyone for staying off the roads today, and anyone that's out there needs to exercise extreme caution.
So Dylan, you know, it's going to be another day before Portland proper warms up above freezing and we kind of start to get out of this mess. But can you walk us through the next 24 hours? What's the plan for your crews?
We will be on the roads, continuing our 24-hour coverage and having crews working throughout the night and throughout the day. They'll continue to try to work those routes, the busiest routes that are needed for public transit and first responders, bridges and overpasses that are those trouble spots, to try to make sure they're clear. The best thing we can the best outcome for now is to really continue to have clear roads with folks staying indoors, staying off the roads, so we can get our work done and help us be positioned as good as well as possible for the thaw. And that work of continuing to use the de-icer, to have our large vehicles, just the sheer weight and their chains are really going to help help the city recover as they are using those salt and other chemicals. That'll help us recover faster, help keep public transit going, and that'll help us transition to more normal operations, hopefully by Saturday.
All right. PBOT has a plan, and Dylan Rivera just shared it with us. Dylan, thanks so much. We'll talk to you again this morning and get the very latest from you in a bit. All right, now we're going to get to one of our reporters out there. Bryant Clerkley is still in Southeast Portland, but he's moved now to the Southeast Powell Park and Ride. And Bryant, what can you tell us there?
Hey, I have not moved there yet, Tim. I'll be there at the next half hour. I'm still at Southeast 128th and Raymond, where a tree did fall on a house earlier last night around 11 p.m. They've got crews here. They've been here all night. They don't want us to get any closer because that tree fell on some power line, so it's pretty dangerous up there. And if you're coming through these side streets over here, you might want to be careful because they're still covered in snow. So just drive carefully if you have to drive at all. And like I said, part of this road is closed as crews, work on these power lines. So the power is out, or seems to be out in this neighborhood. But the one thing that is kind of troubling to me is just how cold it is outside. Dangerously cold out here. And with this wind blowing, it's not making it any easier. So just everybody stay inside if you can today. And like I said, watch out for power lines if you're in this area because there is a tree down. And the roads on the way over here were covered in snow. The highway, you want to be careful on the highway if you have to get on that too. But everyone just needs to be careful out here today. Brenda, Tim?
Absolutely good advice, Bryant. You take care as well. We'll be checking with you next half hour. Right now, I want everybody to take a look at this PGE outage map. It's reporting about 80 different power outages affecting more than 8,000 customers. Looking at the map, you can see how widespread the outages are. Well, actually, they're just kind of, written there. We don't have the little one with dots everywhere. We also want to talk about you guys across the Columbia. Clark Public Utilities reporting outages north of Washougal. Around 1,000 customers affected. The biggest outages there are from trees onto power lines. And then Pacific Power responding to about 11 small outages in the Portland metro area, each affecting no more than 20 customers. Hey, if your power goes out, there are some things that you can do to help your home stay as warm as possible. We will talk about some of those after the break. Stay with us.